Welcome. This is the Global Summit House podcast. Catch power interviews and discussions with influential, inspiring, and powerful people. Explore what's possible by tuning into this podcast with our all-new The Writers Project episodes, featuring one of the world's most inspired thinkers and writers. Visit our website at www.globalsummithouse.com.
I am really pleased to introduce Nguyen Tran, who is the author of the book, Mind Control Through Breath Regulation. Welcome, Nguyen. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to talk to the listeners.
Excellent. Tell everybody a little bit, before we get into the book, tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you came into breath control, breath regulation, that sort of thing. Where did that all start?
It all started when I got the scholarship to go to Australia to study electronic engineering. In fact, there were 9 of us who were given scholarship from Australia. And so we arrived in Australia, and with all our things that go to Australia, it's a good country. We're going to study and get our degree and go home and help our country. But the fact is not like that, because we went into Australia and we couldn't understand the English. And so we find it hard to take notes in the lecture. The trouble, I think probably you're aware of it in Australia, when they speak of, say, you can't go to the hospital to die. They say, no, I can't go to the hospital to die. And most of the lecture, they got an Australian accent. So we study under English accent, so we can't catch up with the lecture. So we get into trouble. Study stress. And so we went to the medical center and asked the people there what to fix the thing, because our head just keep on roaming around and we have to concentrate on our lecture and things like that. And so there are 3 things you can do. You take the pills, or you do ECT, or you go into our meditation and control your mind to stop it from roaming. And so we didn't think of taking the pills. And one of our people volunteered to take ECT because he's interested in electronics and things like that. They gave him shock treatment. Yeah. And he got side effects. He couldn't pass his exam. So that the rule is that if any one of us didn't pass any exam, we will get sent home. Ooh. Because they're giving us money to pass, not to fail. So he went home. So then they said, well, you have no hope now. You can go and do meditation and see whether it can settle it. So we went and sat there, and they asked us to keep quiet and think of your mind and see whether it settled down 1 hour, 2 hours. They say, well, this is hopeless. It doesn't stop our engineering mind. It's roaming around a lot. Right. So the rest of the people asked me, said, well, can you do to fix this meditation? You know, it let our mind roaming around a lot. So I had to go and look for yoga books in the libraries and also in the shops. And most of the books are written in a language that I couldn't understand anyway, because it's mostly using Indian terms rather than English terms. Mm-hmm. So I found a book written by an American PhD student who was sent to India to learn yoga and meditation. It was very good, written in good English and easy to understand. So I read that, learn it, practice it, and wonder how I can make my head stop roaming around. So
right. And so it was successful for you to do that.
Yes. I say that this is nonsense. You go into the thing, sit there and do nothing. because we are engineer, we want to do things, our head want to do something, so on and so forth. So I say, well, we have to breathe, 4 types of breath. I invented 4 types of breath. One is modify normal breath. Normally you do it about 1 or 2 seconds, but I increase it to 6 seconds, that modify normal breath. Mm-hmm. And then oxygen breath, we have oxygen in our body. So that one is 14 seconds, that's much longer. And then I invented quantum breath. Quantum breath also 14 seconds. And also I invented the resonance breath. Resonance breath, add another 7 seconds. So that's 21 seconds. So we have 4 breaths to practice while we're sitting down. And as we practice the thing, the mind is under control. So, you know, I practiced it for 1 week and the things seem to get better. And then I practiced for 4 weeks so that I don't have any more study stress anymore. So I passed on to my friend and asked them to practice, and they all achieve the same results. So we then don't worry about study stress. We can concentrate on our exams and our study, and we have plenty of time left for our sports. We're talking to our friends, our Aussie friends who give us a scholarship to study in Australia. And then we went on and succeed in our exams and so on and so forth. And after that, I thought that when I retire from the university, I got a job at the university, become professor there. And I decided to write it up to number one is to thank the Australian for giving us the scholarship, and the other one is to pass the information on to other people who are in the same situation, to take it up, see whether they get the same result as we do. And hence the book was written and published.
So talk a little bit about, first of all, let's just talk about the concept of mind control from the standpoint of, my sense is that what you're talking about initially is just to quiet the mind. Is that right?
Yeah, that is what the meditators were thinking, but that is a waste of time, because we want to spend that time to control our mind, so our mind can, subconscious mind can help us solve solution to our study problems, like mathematics, like physics, like chemistry. If some assignment given up and we can't do that, we go into meditate, and the answer from the subconscious mind will give us the answer, and then we can solve the problem. It's very quick, and we save time too. We don't have to sit there and whiten the mind and wonder what to do next. But in our case, we want to find a solution to our problems, our exercise, our exams, and things like that. And the slow breath is intended to excite the subconscious mind for it to help us in solving all our problems, to tell us to take up challenge, to dream big, and also to help us with diabetes and osteoporosis and memories and all these things.
At some level, it seems to me like the opposite of mind control is a state of dis-ease, where our mind is busy thinking about, how am I going to pass the test, or how am I going to get better at this? And so what you're saying is, through meditation and through breath regulation, people are able to excite their subconscious and open that up to all the answers that we're really looking for. Isn't that right?
That's right, that's right. Our mind got that conscious mind and subconscious mind. Conscious mind is this place where they store all the logics in, everything logic, about mathematics, physics, chemistry. And the subconscious mind will then integrate those things to give us the answer. If you have a math problem that you can't solve, you meditate on that, and in a day, hour, half hour, or a day or 2 days later, the answer will come through your subconscious mind. And you say, wow, what a good solution. And you put it up and we get full mark. That's a very, very interesting thing. And this one here, if you pass to the young people who are studying, they will get the same result too.
And so having that, sorry, let me just fix that.
The slow breath is to excite the subconscious wave. And in our brain, there are 5 brain waves. 3 of them are subconscious and 2 of them are conscious. And the subconscious mind got a rate of 6 seconds, 7 seconds, and 8 seconds. So our breathing is here to that. So it is in the same state as the brain waves. So we trigger the brain to do the work for us.
So if I understand that correctly, what you're saying is when I time my breathing to the same, to these
As
different brain waves, I open that up to myself. Is that right?
That's right.
And one of the things that I think is really interesting about what you're saying is also that you don't want to discount the conscious mind, but you want to integrate the subconscious mind.
That's right. You want to integrate that, and it will take the logical thing on the conscious mind and give us the answer. Mm-hmm. And we can do other things too, but, like reproduction or diabetes, and osteoporosis, memory, and things like that.
So let's take osteoporosis as an example. What do you add to this practice that you've come up with to help with these kinds of ailments?
Yeah, well, the thing is, in our body, we have the body and we have the brain. So I set up 7 centers in the body, and one of those centers is osteoporosis. We have to visualize the thyroid and parathyroid, and to think of iodine, calcium, omega-3. That is a thing that to get the calcium, good calcium into our bone, and so that solve the osteoporosis problem.
And so as I'm doing these practices with breath control, I'm also at the same time thinking of these areas and visualizing them, I imagine, in a healthy state.
That's right. And when you have your hormone that is running down, the natural mind, the natural body will say, oh, well, you are running down, so I better turn it off. But by meditate on that center, you can reinvent it that one. You can bring back the hormone. There's one center that we can do anti-aging, that pituitary hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a hormone that decides on what to do, and then pituitary is to make that hormone. So that by putting that in there, you then have anti-aging. In other words, instead of being 20 years older, you can get 20 years younger.
And
at no cost.
At no cost. I love that.
Yeah.
When you started this, and now you look at however many years it's been since you started doing these practices, are you surprised by the power of the mind and the subconscious mind?
Yeah, I'm surprised and I'm happy. I'm proud that I tap into the subconscious mind to make it, to put it into use. Rather, normal people, that don't worry about the ability of the subconscious mind to help us in solving problems, inventing new things, and so on and so forth, helping us do much better in life, and also in sport too. It can help you move faster and keep your balance and things like that.
And it's all taking the time to sit quietly, focus on your breath while focusing on the things that I want to change, the things that how I want them to be.
That's right. And I use all the yoga position. I don't sit down in a lotus position for an hour. I use yoga, simple yoga poses. When I do that, I think of all these things. 7 centers in the brain, 7 centers in the body.
So talk a little bit about you've got 4 different practices for this breath control. Talk a little bit about the differences and what each one does.
Yeah, well, they modify normal breath. They've got go through 7 centers. So each of the center got 6 seconds, one breath. And you go through 7 centers, like in the body, you get reproduction, you get the second one is what do you call it? The center for the sugar, diabetes, and then you get heart and lung. You got thyroid and parathyroid. You got pituitary hypothalamus, that anti-aging. You got the brain supporting the 10 systems in the body: the skin, the bone, the muscles, all the other centers like reproduction and spinal, the hormone, and you have to think of all those things. Only 10 centers in the body, but you have to keep them going. If something go down, then you thought about it and it's going to improve.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about what oxygen breath is.
Oxygen breath come from the air, come from the lung, and the oxygen is filtered by the blood, and that's sent all around the body. Now we are running out of time.
No, don't worry. We'll keep going. You're fine.
Yeah, and the quantum breath in our body, there is a nerve, and all our data are running by the neurons. A neuron is in the neuron there is electrons, but in fact part of the electron is called quantum. So quantum, we have to think of that. It's moving along the spinal cord. It comes from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. But I did a simulation. I said, well, this is electron, so it got influenced by the Earth's magnetic fields. So I get my mathematics out and I meditate and I simulate. And I say, well, these Indians are wrong. They sit on a lotus position. They don't have the snake going from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. The snake is 3.5 turns. When you get the Kundalini, the snake will come up and move from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head, according to the Indians. But looking at the quantum breath, there is no such thing. It's only a circle that going up and down. It's not a snake. Snake had to be 3.5 turns. So when the person lying down with the head pointing to the north, then he would have a helix. The quantum breath would be a helix. And the helix go from bottom of the spine to the top of the head. So if they want to do Kundalini, they have to lie down with the head pointing to the north, or you can lie down on your back. The same thing, the quantum would move in the snake to produce the Kundalini. So that I use that a lot for pain killing. When I went to have an injection, yellow fever injection, the doctor said, oh, tonight you go home, you're going to have pain in your arm. And when I got home and I got the pain, so I lie in the position, lying facing north, and I do quantum breathing. And within 15 minutes, my pain disappeared. Looked like the subconscious mind discovered that there's something that caused my pain, so it produced another hormone to remove that. And so I didn't have the pain in my arm as long as what the doctor predicted.
Got it. Got it. So what about quantum breathing? What's different about that from the first two?
The quantum breath, quantum is follow the neuron in the body, the nerves in the body. They transmit data in the body, and they give instruction. They receive the information from different sensors around the body, and the brain going to give a solution, and then they give out this quantum sending to the place, say, this guy got sore shoulder, I'll send him this thing to get rid of it. And it does, and all the things like, or the reproduction, they say, this lady, she's running out of, what was that? She's running out of hormone. So we have to produce more hormone and send to her so that she can get better. And that seemed to work very well. But along the spinal cord, if you do it right, you have a snake, although it's very small because it's a quantum. It goes from the bottom of the backbone to the top. And when you breathe according to that, the subconscious mind will take use of that and say, this guy wants to do something. He wants to invent something, or he wants to solve some solution, or he wants to take some challenge, or he wants to dream big, and so on. And the thing will come out to you. You can do all these things, and you do it in a quicker time than the other student who never know of the subconscious mind and the brain breath.
And so the last one is resonance breath. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, resonant breath is when you hold your breath, then the subconscious mind says, what is he doing? Why don't you do this? So the thing is resonate. So what you do, you breathe in at 7 seconds, exhaling is 7 seconds, but before you exhale, you hold the breath 7 seconds. You can hold longer than that, 14 seconds. You can do 7 times. 7 times is quite a bit. So the resonant breath, you breathe in 7 seconds, you hold the breath for 7 seconds, and you breathe out 7 seconds. So that is 21-second breath.
And so with all of these, what are you recommending in terms of the amount of time somebody should be doing these practices on a daily basis?
The modified normal breath, it takes about 42 seconds to go through 7 centers. And that is quite good. That you can do it twice as much, 82 seconds, that is more than a minute. But that's about all. If you want to see Kundalini, then you have to hold the breath, a resonant breath, a bit longer. You inhaling 7 seconds and holding the breath, so you can have 1, 2, 3, up to 7, and then you breathe out. Now the Kundalini done by the Indian, they have to hold their breath for 3 hours. And BBC came and tested them, and put them in a coffin and locked them up for 3 hours, and they came out, they're still alive. But if you fall into the swimming pool, 7 minutes, you drown.
Right.
Yeah, and that is very much against the nature. But somehow they hold their breath, and the breath managed to get the oxygen in the cells and send it to the brain, so they didn't die. That was a theory of that. But, I use my simulated snake, and I don't have to do that because I can get the Kundalini in about 21 seconds.
So one of the things that you're also bringing to the table is this, and really dispelling the myth that I need to sit for hours on end over years and years to gain any of these benefits, aren't you?
That's right. But they put into thinking of the subconscious mind and brain waves, then that time there is much worth it, much more. And then you have plenty of time to do other things as well. And you can think of love, and you can think of friendship, and so on. We thought of our friendship to the Australians. So that seemed to be very beneficial.
Yeah. Wow. So we've got to wrap up. What do you think the most important message is that you want your readers to know about this practice and what it can do for them?
Yeah, well, for me, it did me very well because I'm now 75 and they tested my osteoporosis. They say my bone density is the same thing as over 25 years old man.
Wow.
So, and also my diabetes, I did a meditation and I find the sugar level in my body reduce a lot. Whereas if I don't do meditation, the sugar in my body get a bit higher. So without taking a pill, without side effects, things like that. So you invest about 15 minutes in a day to do this meditation. You can help your body thrive and you stay young and you're healthy, and you can take up challenge, and you can dream big. You can do well in your study and do well in your sport. So that's much better investment than taking the pills and other things. So try it out and let me know whether you have the same effect as me, and I'll be very happy.
And I take it the bottom line is also that with this brief practice every day or on a regular, mostly daily basis, also a lot of the things that we perceive as being very difficult in a lot of ways become much easier with far less effort. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's right. The yoga you select don't have to do things like twisting or all these things that other people are doing. Very simple yoga process to exercise every muscle in your body. Now, so long as they synchronize, then the body gets much better.
Nguyen Tran, thank you for taking the time to tell us about mind control through breath regulation, the different types of practices that you've come up with, and the benefits from simple practice that doesn't have to be hours and hours long to make just dramatic changes in your life.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, is there anything that you guys want to cover? Anything that I missed?
No, the book is available on Amazon.
Okay.
It's available in ebook and also in printed on demand.
Okay, let me add that. Also, keep in mind that you can purchase Mind Control Through Breath Regulation by Nguyen Tran on Amazon in electronic or book form. Thank you, Nguyen, for being here. I really appreciate it.
If anyone would like to talk some more to me, my email is nguyen@hotmail.com. Nguyen, NWINTRAN@hotmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Nguyen.
Thank you, Chris.
Have a good one.
You're a very good postcaster.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really impressed with this, and I'm going to pick up the book.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Global Summit House podcast. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or Google Play. Connect with us at globalsummithouse.com. See you on the next episode.